Namaste In Lak'ech, Jayom Guru. Loving greetings to all of my dearly beloved brothers and sisters everywhere, all around the world. I wanted to come out and talk with everybody about, what we do here at our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship family. And what we do here is, well, we live what I like to say the best of both worlds. We're living in a way and we're doing something in a way that's actually, very different. Usually, if you go to a church or a temple, when you go there, it's very specifically about what's going on there at that church or that temple. Very specifically. When you go to a church, you go there, well, we go there to pray, right? And praying is very necessary. But there's more to it than that, than just praying, right? We can't just sit there in front of our garden and just pray that everything will grow and everything will turn out just fine, right? If we want the best garden, right, we might have to get up and do something about it. But praying would be important too, right? So we certainly wouldn't forget that part, the praying part. It's definitely necessary. Talking with God in the language of our heart, right? That's praying. And it's absolutely necessary. But there's more to it than that. It's not the whole picture. Eventually something will grow in your garden, of course, by the will of God, if you just sit there and just pray. But if you get up while you're praying, right? You pray and then you get up and then you keep talking with God as you're hoeing the soil, turning the soil, removing the weeds, doing the work, right? Watering, maybe build a little protective hedge around it, We have to do something. Everyone came here to do something. So here at our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship family, we're combining this idea of working and being connected with Source. We're combining Source with everything that we do, right? To where it's actually God that's gardening through us in that garden. Prayer is speaking and communicating and keeping in tune with our Source, right? But there's more to it than just praying and talking with God. Well, that more to it is, well, what we see, what's going on in, for example, those Hindu temples, where people are going to those temples really not to pray. No one is really intended or intending or necessarily expected to go to those temples and pray where those pujas and rituals and everything are going on. They usually don't go there to pray. Although a lot of praying goes on there at the temples. Of course, they're talking with God there. We're all talking with God there, right? But there's something more going on than that, something deeper going on. When you see those priests or the monks that are at those temples, those nuns, those priestesses that are in those temples, those very special temples, where it's not a real lot of praying, very little praying going on, but there's a lot of energy work going on there. That's what's going on with these puja rituals that we see when we see that they're burning those incense and burning those candles, lighting those oil lamps, and the smell of the incense and all that, the mantras and the chanting over and over and over again of these mantras, right? That are actually sound syllables of energy that create something in the ethers around us. And so we go to those temples where that work has been done to cultivate that. by those priests and priestesses. That's what they're doing there. They're creating love. They're creating the energy of abundance, the all kinds of energies they're creating there. That's what the main purpose is in those Hindu temples and temples like that, where they're working on the energy. They're not going there to pray and beg to God for a new car. No, they're going there to absorb the energies of abundance and then knowing that the source will supply that vehicle that's needed. It always does. And so this is what's going on in those Hindu temples like that. They're not praying so much as they're creating the energy for the people, the masses, the public, for the brothers and sisters to come and partake of that spiritual manna, that manna of abundance, of peace, of love, joy, calmness, peace of mind, balance in our lives. All these energies are being created in those temples. Not so much pray. But, well, then we go into the churches and we find they're not focusing on creating energy and intentionally creating energy. They're praying to God and they're asking God to give them what they need. They're praying to God. They're talking with God from their heart. They're not intentionally creating an energy. They haven't really gone there to intentionally receive energy so much. They've come to church to talk to God, commune with God, right? In that church, right? With brothers and sisters of like mindedness, right? As Amma often reminds us often to bring all of our energy together to make it stronger. So, an energy is, in fact, being created in the churches. It's there, but it's really not the intentional focal point. The energy is being created there, just like in the temples where, of course, they're talking with God, but that's not the focal point, right? And here at our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship, we've actually combined these two focal points. Here it's not a little more about the energies and creating those energies and maybe a little less actual talking and praying to God. It's not all about talking to God and allow that energy to accidentally kind of manifest itself. We're actually here, we're talking with God, we're praying to God, we're communicating with God, we're communing with God, our source. And at the same time, with the same effort, we're creating that energy for brothers and sisters to come and bathe in that energy, absorb that energy, be impregnated with higher vibrational energies and frequencies that raise our consciousness. Well, that raise even our physical condition, right? It even raises, improve our soul. Mind, body, and soul, all being elevated together, balanced to the highest ideals of living, right? So we can live in the best way, in perfect peace and bliss and harmony. Isn't that what we want? Right? We all want ever existing consciousness and bliss. And that's what we're creating here at our spiritual centers. Our spiritual centers are, well, they're a little different, right? It's not a church only. It's not a temple only. It's a combination of those two, a perfect balancing and blending of those two. It's kind of new. It's kind of different. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. Some people aren't going to like this idea of mine. And I apologize. I'm very sorry. I'd never mean to offend anyone or hurt anyone in any way. But here we combine all the traditions. We love the Hindus, the Native American brothers and sisters, the Christians, the all of them. All of the paths have such a wonderful tradition, right? Our beautiful, wonderful Native American brothers and sisters, why their temples, why they don't have roofs to their temples. Nature is their temple. Such a wonderful tradition. Our Guru teaches us that we should combine the best of all the teachings and combine it into one magnificent truth, right? One beautiful community, one magnificent world of brothers and sisters working together, playing together, communing with our source together, living and loving, playing and working in great joy and bliss, endless joy, endless bliss. That's what we came here for. That's the highest ideal, right? And so, with this careful blending, this kind of new way, right? Blending, oh, you could say we're blending the Oriental way with this Western way, the Oriental way of creating energy, and the Western way of praying and really communing and talking with God, pouring our heart out to God, right? Combining these two wonderful things, right? Loving God with all of our heart, all of our strength, all of our mind. Well, that's what it means. That's yoga, right? Union. And so anyone who might be, well, interested in getting into this newer kind of thing, where we're blending everything together. And I'm not trying to force this on anyone. And I know a lot of people will not be happy about me blending these traditions. Some say that it shouldn't be done, that the traditions should be kept separate. They say keeping it pure or something, right? All of the traditions are wonderful traditions. The Catholic tradition isn't better than the Muslim tradition or anything like that. And if we could get past the superficiality of it all, we could see the beauty in the essence of all of these traditions. And we would see that really all of these traditions all have the same base: to love each other, to care for each other, to protect each other, to be kind and considerate to each other, and to seek our source above all, seeking source together in peace and love and harmony. It can be done if we put our heart into it and our mind into it and our soul into it. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing if anyone might be interested, right, in this new kind of way, where we don't separate the traditions so much and keep things separated, exclusive, in other words, right? We're not exclusive here. We're very inclusive here. Unlimited, right? Trying to be more unlimited. Even when it comes to the Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva idea, right? And we hear of the Shivites and the Vishites debating, saying which one's right, which one's wrong. Is it Shiva that is the supreme God, or is it Vishnu that is that supreme God? Well, brothers and sisters, I think we know that this idea of separation is not so good, right? If we separate that neutron from the proton, right? If we separate Shiva from Vishnu, then we're going to have the big explosion, a big problem, a big mess on our hands, right? When we separate and segregate, divide, and keep it apart, right? What we'd like to see is the Hindus and the Muslims and the Christians and the Buddhists and, well, all traditions all coming together as loving brothers and sisters in one wonderful teaching, appreciating each other's ways, different ways of seeking source instead of judging and condemning that. If Buddha, Christ, Krishna, Mohammed, well, if they were all right here sitting together, well, they wouldn't be arguing and fighting with each other and debating about who was right and who was the best. They would be fully cooperating with each other for the good of all in order to glorify God only. And I'm sure that whichever one you're following, they all said the same thing. Didn't they? Didn't they say to love our brothers and sisters, to help our brothers and sisters, and to seek our source, our creator, our God together as loving brothers and sisters? So everyone is welcome to come here with us. All like-minded brothers and sisters are welcome to come here and join us in this idea of phasing out this limited way of separation, restriction, and exclusiveness, and become more and more inclusive of all traditions. That's what Paramhansa Yogananda guides us to do, to take the best of the East and the best of the West and combine the two, right? We can leave out that which is not best. Let's use a little discernment here as God planned for us to do. Let's use some discernment and then let's use common sense and choose what's best for us and for everyone. I think if we think about it and analyze it, this idea of inclusively working together would be so much better for us all than separating and dividing and saying, oh, I'm right, you're wrong. And even going so far as to say, you're wrong and I may have to hurt you because of it all. Oh, brothers and sisters, let us find our way out of that way of thinking. Because as long as we're still thinking in that way, we're not living as the higher evolved beings as this consciousness is encouraging us to do right now. We're in a new time now. This is a higher way, a higher time, and we can be living in a higher way. And our Guru's teaching shows us how to live in that way. And it's all going on right here in our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship family, right here in Central New York. And if you're not in Central New York where we're located, well, that's okay. Because we're online and we have lots of live stuff happening every day. So everyone is welcome to get together with us in that way anywhere in the world. And for those that are actually local here in Central New York, well, we have a beautiful spiritual oasis in Parrish, New York, our Mahaprem Shakti spiritual oasis, where, as I said, we don't just go there to just and only pray to beg to God, right? And we don't go there and, secretly, privately create these wonderful energies for our brothers and sisters to come and absorb and enjoy and benefit from. We're doing it both. We're doing it all. We have our Sunday services right there in Parish at our Mahaparam Shakti Spiritual Center. Everyone's welcome to come there and feel what it's like to absorb abundance, absorb that peace and bliss. Maybe have some calmness in your life for a moment or two or three. Everyone's welcome to come and join us. Well, at these physical locations that we have, because we also have a spiritual center in Kathmandu, Nepal, that is growing more and more every day. Our beloved family there, Suman and Malima, are there. They're doing a lot of energy healing, a lot of service to the community, as well as learning there too how to create these energies there. Not just serving our brothers and sisters actually physically, but also spiritually. I'm so much looking forward to getting together with all of my brothers and sisters, either in person or online, in this new inclusive kind of way where we're much less exclusive and a little less exclusive every day, because that's our way. So thank you all. Sorry for this lengthy talk, but I wanted to be sure that you really know and understand that something different's going on, something new is coming, right? Because it's a new time. And if you think that might be a good idea, you're certainly free to come and check that out. Just get a hold of us and see how you can be more involved. Thank you all. God bless us all. Namaste in Lak'ech Jayom Guru. Have a great day or night or evening or morning, wherever you happen to be in the world. I'm always praying, thanking God. I stop so many times throughout the day, just pausing and just thanking God for guiding and protecting and watching over all of my dearly beloved brothers and sisters everywhere, all around the world, giving all of us whatever we need when we need it. So, thank you all for taking some time to listen to me. God bless us all. Namaste and Lak'ech Jayom Guru. Bye now.